Hi everyone, Red here, creator of Red and the Phantom Castle. Today I wanted to go over some questions that have been asked during some of my streams, and also some from the Dreams community that are interested to know what's happening with Red and the Cursed Isles. Now, a bit of backstory: Red and the Cursed Isles is the sequel to Red and the Phantom Castle, which you're currently watching on screen. And I have been relatively quiet. I've just been kind of working away and doing my own thing. But today we're going to go over 10 of the most popular questions asked, and hopefully this gives you a bit of an insight into what we're working with and gets you excited about what's to come up in the future. Now, the first big question, which is probably the most boring I'd say, is the release date. When is it going to be released? Now, we are hoping for a November release date so that we can enter Red and the Cursed Isles into the Impi Awards for 2021. So we're hoping that we can get it all done by November so that we can enter it and give it a fighting chance, because last year we missed out on entering it for the Phantom Castle, so we definitely want to have enough time to be able to put it out. So we do have less time than what we did with the first one, but it's a lot more streamlined than it used to be. I have now a year of experience, so I'm hoping that is pushing us forward at a better pace, and it actually is, so I can't complain. But yes, November later this year on Dreams. Next up, we've got a fun one. What are the changes to the Red Puppet? Now, the Red Puppet is, for the first game, a very, very basic puppet. There's not a lot to him on his own. He has individual controls for each level, which is something that actually turned out to be a mistake, because moving him into different levels would mean we would have to basically build him again to be able to do different things. This time around, the Red Puppet is a kind of all-in-one puppet. He's got new animations, he's got a new style, he's got way more details on him now. He's got a sword and sheath, his boots have buckles on them, he has actual gloves instead of little round mittens, and his eyes have changed. So he's got quite a good change about him this time around. Another really good question, what inspires you this time around? For people that knew me, Red and the Phantom Castle was a story and character that I've had in my head for about 4 years, way before Dreams was out. So that inspiration was already set in stone. It was kind of a mix of everything. But this time around, the inspiration to make Red and the Cursed Isles is definitely Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. I love that game, it's my favourite Zelda, and it's a massive inspiration on how I want the world to feel, the open vastness of it, and even the sailing about. I certainly want it to be as fun, or at least close to how they had it in Wind Waker. So that would be the main inspiration this time around. Next up, we have, what are the game design changes this time around? Well, now that Red is a much more intricate puppet, there will be a lot of game design changes. The main difference will be how he's able to traverse landscapes. He's got a double jump, he's able to climb. There's certainly a lot more to the world that is going to be more interactable versus how it was in the previous one. The biggest change to the world's design is the water. The water has received a personal touch, which is no longer just how Dreams has it. Dreams usually has it kind of in a realistic setting. For us, it's a lot more cartoony and a lot more kind of colourful, which really fits the world that we're trying to build. So the water's probably the biggest change for the game. Next we have, will this have more characters that were shown than there was in the first one? And the answer is a big yes. The issue with the first game was that it had a lot of characters to be introduced. The only issue is that not enough voice actors were available at the time. Probably my fault that I didn't budget enough time to get them. But this time around, there is way more characters, both main characters and side characters that you'll be introduced to, and they'll all be fully voiced and have different personalities, and they'll be really fun if everything goes according to plan. And I'll just tag on this next question, which is, will there be voice acting opportunities for your game, or have you set in stone everyone you want? We have quite a lot of characters in this game, probably more than we should. There are plenty of voices that we could use, so if you're an aspiring voice actor and you want to give it a shot, please by all means send me a message. Dreams has now added an import function, so you don't need to have Dreams anymore to be a voice actor within it, which is very helpful when getting voice actors. That's something we didn't have for the first one. So if you're interested and you want to give voice acting a shot, and you think you've got an interesting enough voice for a piratey themed world, although you don't have to do a pirate voice. Please don't everyone send me the same it's me, I'm a pirate in your game. Like, don't. It's not everyone sounds like a pirate, so it's fine. Yeah. The next one is, how will it be different from the first one? Now, the first one was a very, very linear game. You went world cutscene, world cutscene, world cutscene, world cutscene sort of thing. This one is going to be a lot more open. We're hoping to have quests where you'll go to and from an island, back and forth to get things that weren't there the first time. Go back to talk to NPCs. It is a lot of work, and it's certainly different from what we did with the first one. But you've got to innovate. You've got to make it more interesting. So yes, it will be less linear. However, there will be some kind of linear path within the game to tell the story. Originally, it was going to be fully open world where you could do any mission whenever you wanted. But in a storytelling standpoint, it doesn't really make sense, and it's incredibly annoying to do. So for this one, it's going to be open world, but with linear segments. Our next question is multiplayer. Will there be multiplayer in the game? Short answer is no. That's the bad news. The good news is, I want to add multiplayer. I love experiencing games with friends. It's one of my favourite things. I always say that when I'm playing a single player game, and I'm like, this would be amazing multiplayer. That's how I feel. The game will, of course, be fully single player. There won't be like a multiplayer aspect to it. However, there will be a kind of co-op ability where we're hoping one of the characters, I won't say who, will be able to join Red in certain segments of it. However, creating a fully new functioning puppet with abilities and moves and things to do isn't really feasible in Dreams right now, purely because of the limitations that Dreams has in certain places. I would have to bog down the detail of certain levels in order to fit that in, and I don't want to bog down the details. I would rather get quality rather than quantity. But we're hoping to add in segments of co-op at certain points. Lastly, length of the game. How long will the game be compared to the first one? The first game was about an hour and 15. If you explored everything, if you speedran it, you could have done it in maybe about half an hour. I'm hoping, for exploration included, that the second one will run at about 2 hours. If you want to get everything, complete everything, and experience everything that I have created, I'm hoping that 2 and a bit hours. I think that's a good length for a game made in a year that's made by just mainly one person. And finally, do you have any other projects in the work? What can we expect from you aside from the Cursed Isles? I have a lot of projects in the works. There's a Doodle Red level game that I want to make where he can go between being a drawing in 2D to a 3D fleshed out character. And we've kind of toyed around with, and we've actually got a wee bit of the gameplay playable. However, it's very difficult to set aside time outside of the curse styles. I've given myself a small window of time to get this game done, and it's difficult trying to find the time to be able to do it. But I'm hoping that maybe if I get burnout on the curse styles, I tend to work in a separate project to kind of get myself interested and excited about going back. It worked with the first game, so I'm hoping that it'll work with the second game. But yes, certainly other projects under wraps, but with time and stuff, yeah, we'll see. We'll certainly see. But yes, thank you everyone for your questions. I always love talking about Red and whatever I'm working on. It's a lot of fun, so I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you Monday for the next gaming video. Until then, bye everyone.